If you're moving to Boston and you want to be in the middle of everything and walking distance to all the shopping, dining, entertainment you could possibly want, downtown Boston might be the best choice for you. So in this video, we're going over what that lifestyle looks like and what it's like to live in the middle of Boston. So let's get into it. Hey there, welcome to the channel or welcome back. My name is Jacob Peistrup, and if you're moving to Boston, if you're buying, signing a lease, whatever it is, if you want help with that process, I am a real estate advisor and I love the reach outs I get through the YouTube channel. That is my favorite part of my job. So if you want some help buying a house or a condo in Boston or the suburbs, let's get in touch. My cell phone, my email, all available down below. So let's get that conversation started and get you here to Boston. So downtown Boston, living in downtown, what is there to do? Right off the bat, downtown isn't exactly an official neighborhood in Boston. And it's kind of funny because a lot of times when people say downtown or midtown, they'll use those words interchangeably. They're probably referring to basically four neighborhoods together in Boston. So there's Downtown Crossing, which is a big retail area where the name downtown a lot of times comes from. There's the Theater District, the Financial District, and Government Center. These kind of get lumped together as one neighborhood, and you'll hear it called either downtown or midtown Boston. And it's pretty funny. There's this article I read that's basically saying to real estate people like myself, stop saying Midtown Boston, because it's funny because you won't hear people say Midtown Boston. Like, I live in Midtown. Like, no, nobody says that. But in real estate, for marketing and with listings on the MLS, you see Midtown a lot. And it's not really like this recognized thing that anyone says, but in the MLS, Midtown is an official neighborhood, but no one says that. And the funny thing is that this article was saying, like, Midtown and downtown are not the same thing. Like, if you're talking New York City, there's uptown, there's midtown, and there's downtown. Those are different areas, so how can you call midtown and downtown the same thing? I don't know, but in Boston, people kind of do that. Basically, anytime someone says downtown Boston, they're more than likely referring to the combination of Downtown Crossing, the Theater District, Financial District, and Government Center. These are kind of four small neighborhoods all in the same area that kind of get lumped together, and that whole thing is downtown Boston. So downtown Boston, I mean, this is in the middle of, the hustle and bustle of that city living. That's what you will find in downtown Boston. There's the Financial District, which is the, financial hub for everyone who works in finance, insurance, stuff like that. There's Downtown Crossing, which is a big retail center in Boston. You're right across from Boston Common. If you love the park and outdoor space, that is the most iconic part of Boston. And overall, you just have a bunch of fun, restaurants, clubs, bars, lots of stuff for entertainment, going out to eat. Downtown Boston really has it all, and you're so close to a bunch of other neighborhoods around you. West End, TD Garden, everything with North Station, there's Beacon Hill, there's Seaport, there's Back Bay. Like, downtown is connected to all of these other neighborhoods around you. So, I mean, if you want to live in the middle of everything, this is where that's going to be for you in Boston. Now, as you might guess, this is kind of, the hub for tourism, attractions, museums, that kind of stuff. Downtown can get pretty busy sometimes depending on where you are. I mean, you got all the hotels right here, condo buildings, people that, are here for work, for entertainment, whatever it is. You got a lot of people coming and going through downtown Boston and people who live there. There's a lot of, full service condo buildings, apartment buildings, lots of places to live within downtown Boston. And if you break up downtown into different neighborhoods like Downtown Crossing, Theater District, and Financial District, each area kind of has its own different vibe. So Downtown Crossing is very, retail and shopping center. The Financial District is very corporate, financial. You have a lot of big companies in these buildings. Not as much, for, entertainment, shopping, and stuff like that as what you will see in Downtown Crossing. Now, what you might not love about living in downtown Boston, depending on who you are and, what you like, it can get busy. Like I said, it's touristy, it gets crowded, it gets cramped sometimes, lots of people coming and going. So if you kind of prefer that, you know, quiet lifestyle, less people going on around you, you might not love being in the middle of the city by living in downtown Boston. Now on the flip side, it can sometimes be pretty dead during non-business hours. So at night, you know, in the evenings, depending on where you go, you know, it can be pretty empty in downtown after work. Financial district is kind of like empty. Downtown Crossing can be, you know, a little bit quieter on the weekdays when it's not as busy. It's not as popular to go there as it is on the weekends. So you'll kind of see those, you know, peak hours of traffic and stuff in downtown, and then during non-business hours, it gets very, you know, empty at times. And as far as living in downtown Boston, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is your, you know, high-rise city living for condos and apartments. Whether your goal is, you know, one of those full-service luxury buildings, the top three for that are going to be Millennium Tower, Millennium Place, and the residences at the Ritz-Carlton. Soon to be Winthrop Center as well. That's kind of the fourth big building going up right now in the downtown part of Boston. And then for apartments and for renting, again, you got a bunch of these, you know, buildings, whether they're the big ones or kind of a smaller boutique building, lots of places to rent around downtown. You'll see some options right next door in Chinatown as well. So there's a lot of places to live in downtown Boston. Now, if you're someone who needs a lot of space to live, you're gonna have a tough time finding that in downtown Boston because you don't pay for a huge amount of space here. You pay for the views, the location, the convenience of being in downtown Boston. That is what you get for your money, especially in these luxury buildings. You pay a lot for a tiny space, but in a great location with great amenities and great views instead. And especially if you're someone who wants to live close to work, maybe you work in the financial district, and you want to be, you know, accessible to shops, restaurants, bars, enjoyment, that kind of stuff. Downtown Boston is where you'll find that very easily. Now, getting around in downtown Boston, expect to either walk a lot, take the T a lot, or take Ubers a lot, because having a car in downtown can be difficult unless you have an apartment where you can rent a parking spot, or if your condo has a parking spot deeded to you. That's gonna be your best bet because street parking in downtown Boston is like non-existent. Like it is, you're not gonna find a parking spot on the street in downtown Boston. So that's really what you get in downtown Boston, or Midtown if you wanna call it that. You get that city lifestyle, that convenience, and that great location in Boston. So like I said at the beginning, if you are moving to Boston and buying a condo or signing a lease, if you want some help with that process, especially in this crazy real estate market, like I said, send over an email, send a text message if you want to work together. The reach outs I get through this YouTube channel are my favorite part of my job. So if I can help you at all, let's get in touch. But until then, hope to see you in Boston sometime very soon. Take care, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video right here on the Living Boston channel.